Chapter 5. The Story of Soot. Kane Jackson, a talented young soldier, has always been dedicated to his work, believing that serving his country was the right thing to do. Engaged to the beautiful nurse Mary Taylor, he was in the prime of his life until a scientist named Dr. Strong Brain discovered its potential. Invited to participate in an experiment to create super soldiers, Kane was informed by Dr. Strong Brain that would become unstoppable. Excited by the idea, he ended up turning down the offer to focus on marriage. Tragedy struck on a cold night when Kane received the devastating news of Mary's untimely death. She had been run over by the police while chasing criminals, leaving Kane heartbroken. As he held 2 gold rings, one of them now bloodied, something inside him stirred. A monster that would do anything to get revenge on those who uphold the law. Kane swore to become the strongest soldier and make his enemies pay. Kane sought out Dr. Strong Brain, who was obsessed with creating a race of super soldiers for the purposes of the Black Vipers organization. Accepting the invitation, Kane was subjected to the experiment, lying in a chamber from which a strange gas emerged. Another 9 soldiers were also in the chambers, but unfortunately, they all died, leaving Kane as the only survivor. As the sole survivor of the experiment, Kane Jackson felt a strange sensation wash over him. He looked around and saw that all the other soldiers were dead, but he knew that death was the smallest price to pay. When Kane looked at his reflection, he saw a demonic figure staring back at him with dark skin and glowing yellow eyes. He had just acquired several powers and had taken on a terrifying form. Kane started turning into choking black smoke, and everyone around him had to wear oxygen masks. Though Kane could command an electrical storm, regenerate quickly, and possess superhuman strength, his appearance frightened everyone who saw him. Driven by rage, Kane decided to assume a new identity and called himself Soot. He fled aimlessly until he found a remote mountain and took refuge in a cave, far from civilization. Day after day, Soot fed on animals and trained to control his powers, all while plotting his revenge against those who had destroyed his dreams. In his cave, Soot surrendered himself to his desire for power, planning to launch his first major act of revenge against the nearby police department, where his beloved Mary Taylor had tragically taken her last breath. With his demonic powers under control, Soot marched toward the police department, leaving a trail of destruction. Using his ability to command lightning storms, Soot unleashed chaos on the city, showing no mercy as he exacted his revenge on all who dared stand in his way. People began to fear and flee when they saw the creature, now known as the Mountain Demon. His violent and unexpected attacks left people unsure of how to protect themselves, and he became a veritable nightmare for anyone who encountered him. Upon arriving at the police department, Soot unleashed his power of black smoke and soot, suffocating everyone present. In his mind, Soot had fulfilled his promise of revenge at Mary Taylor's funeral. However, Soot wasn't content to stop there. He craved power and now sought to conquer the world. Soot went after the mastermind behind his transformation, Dr. Strong Brain. As Soot approaches Dr. Strong Brain, he realizes he was completely destroyed in some kind of attack. When meeting with Dr. Strong Brain, Soot asks about the incident. The doctor explains that the damage was done by an elite group known as Navy SEALs. Soot expresses his gratitude to Dr. Strongbrain for giving him his powers and promises to help him in any way possible, starting with identifying and confronting those who destroyed his lab. Thus, the creator unites with the creature. Soot proposes to Dr. Strongbrain that, with additional support, they could more quickly achieve their goals of world domination. The doctor responds that he learned from Soot's experiments and had already conducted another experiment with a mercenary named Big J. He was developing a new group of super soldiers, the Speedstorm, who would be super fast and emotionless, but lacking for these soldiers to be perfect would need the genetics of a girl named Mia Smith, as her father managed to resist the accident in your lab and would likely be very resistant to the experiment. Soot begins his pursuit of the Navy SEALs, knowing that once he defeats them he will be able to conquer the world and be remembered as one of the most feared and dangerous villains of all time. Its terrifying appearance would be etched in people's memories for years to come.